this is Utah's next step, guys. I was there when they started their Pac-12 lives. I was there when they beat my Pitt Panthers in the Fiesta Bowl with Alex Smith and ended my life, at least for the night. It was a struggle watching that one go down with Tyler Palko at the helm. Now Utah, I think, will go down to Gainesville, and I think it'll be workmanlike. I'm curious for both of you. What are your thoughts as we break down the overwhelming favorite for this year's Pac-12 champion? To George's point, they may be the crasher to that Jurassic Park theme park that we've known to be the SEC, aka the CFP.
Adam, I'll let you
Yeah,
go first.
I think when you look at the Pac-12 schedule, that's the game you circle, right? And all the talk about conference realignment, all the talk about where the Pac-12 falls on in the college football, power discussions. It's a game the Pac-12 has a chance to put itself back on the map on national television, and with Billy Napier's first game as the head coach at Florida, and I think Utah gets the job done. I mean, Kyle Whittingham, what he's done with that program is so impressive. And it's a good example of what happens when a university and a school aligns with their head coach and gives them time to build the thing the right way. They've now invested in him with his $100 million contract. I got to go there. But man, do I love Utah's tight end room, man. You got Brant Keithy, you got Dalton Kincaid. I mean, it's one of the best tight end rooms in the country. I mean, obviously, Georgia's is really good. Penn State's got a great one, but in the Pac-12. They got two really good tight ends who are two of the top in the country that could probably start at any school in the Pac-12. So I think Utah gets the job done. Clark Phillips III is a special player on defense. I don't think he gets enough recognition. He's going to be a NFL guy at corner for Utah. So I'm excited to see that game. That's one I've had circled for a long time.
I've wrestled with this one. I have a lot of respect for Coach Napier, and I think Anthony Richardson is the East Coast. Like, there's really two monsters. There's a lot of talented quarterbacks. There's two monsters in the country. I'm talking about can go out and do anything, leap over humans, throw it from one end zone to the other. Caleb is one. He's here. Anthony Richardson's the other one. But that unit is still trying to gel and mesh. The stress and pressure is definitely on Florida. And I don't know the Utes as you two do as well to walk people in through a unit room like you just did. Like I have all the respect in the world for Cam Rising, but to me, Utah is a biker gang. And the last group of people you want to see showing up to your shindig to start the season's a biker gang. They remind me of what LSU was with Les Miles. Brutal on both sides of the ball. They tear the place up when they leave. Like, who wants to see that? So I just think the stress and pressures on Florida. I do, if I got pressed, I think Utah does win it, and they start off like that. But if Anthony Richardson and that new Florida staff can bow up, the swamp is the swamp. If they can get some of that generated, you might be talking about one of the best games of the season, starting the season out. But it is a brutal affair to go to dance with Utah. Nobody wants to see a biker gang. Nobody. But they're headed to Florida.
It's also really tough. Sorry, Yogi, to play at Florida in early September. That is not a easy place to play. We played there when I was at UMass, and it is hot and loud, and it is a tough environment.
It wasn't fun for you?
Oh, it was not fun. Yeah, I barely remember most of that game, but that's going to be a tough trip for Utah, but I do think they get the job done.
The humidity might be a good, you don't get that in Salt Lake. Yeah. And the speed, there's a couple of things I think, but again, biker gangs, like, they really don't give a shit about all that stuff. They don't. So we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. Yogi, so you think they go in and come out with a win? No. Well,
let me just address the biker gang comment. Number one, as you may have seen or may not have seen on social media, Kyle Whittingham has a sweet bike as a motorcycle, and just rolled it into Rice Cycle Stadium yesterday. Drove on into the team practice, so they can handle that analogy. I like that, George. Might use that in a game if appropriate. The second part of the humidity, again, for our friends on the East Coast who probably aren't paying attention much to West Coast football, Utah has been practicing in the indoor facility in training camp, and they have cranked up the heat and humidity in the facility. So look, this is year 18 for Kyle Whittingham. He is
Right.
not a rookie at this thing. And I just think his team is so measured, fellas. Like I love hype in the preseason. And there's a lot of teams that are full of hype right now, I think, when you look at the top 15 in America. And it's just like a hope. I hope they can do it. Utah's like, it's a sure bet. Like, it's a lead pipe cinch. It's like, hey, they're going to come in. And as George said, they're going to play their style of ball, but they're also going to be explosive downfield. They got a core group of receivers that are not getting a lot of play. Brant Keithy will line up all over the field and find a trio that's more talented. Maybe you can find one as talented, but find a trio more talented and more productive than Tavion Thomas, 20-plus touchdowns a year ago at 6'3", 240 at tailback. And they got 3 or 4 tailbacks that can all play, including Jalen Glover, who might be a freshman All-American by the end of the year. The quarterback, Cam Rising, one of the most efficient guys in the country. His story's fascinating. This isn't like a 3-star quarterback who came out of nowhere. It's a 5-star dude, committed to Oklahoma, flipped, signed to Texas, transferred to Utah, had to sit based on wacky NCAA rules when JT Daniels was immediately eligible, for instance. It was the same year when they transferred. But he sat, got injured when he won the job, didn't win the job last year, came in week 2 and led the team to a Rose Bowl. Like, he's got the stuff that most like first and second year players don't have because they don't go through that experience. Like he's got a lot in the tank.
Yeah.
And then Keithy will line up everywhere. And Andy Ludwig is their coordinator. George, I know you've been around him. I don't know if you met him yet, Adam, but he's the true scientist. Like the way he works, the way he communicates, like the way there's more light on us right now than in his entire life in a film room. Like, he is dark room, getting to work with his pen and paper, and his game plans are great. So I like them. I think they replaced their stars on defense. Clark Phillips, I'm going to sit down with him tomorrow. He's got a great journey. This is an Ohio State commit who flipped to Utah, and they've done that a few times now. You look at the couple corners and secondary guys like Julian Blackmon now in the NFL. Jalen Johnson was a 5-star player out of Fresno that went to Utah. Like, they're quietly, Terrell Burgess starting for the Rams. Like, this has got next level guys, I think, at every position. So it'll be an awesome atmosphere. As long as Utah can handle the first couple drives in that environment, I think they come out and pull away. Kind of like, Alabama, Miami early on in the season, or one of those games where like you get the best shot and then you just settle in. I think that's what we'll see. But it'll be a big year for them. Put a bow on Utah before we move on. What I love about them and Cam Rising, they've got some marquee games. Like when you look at their schedule, Florida, you both referenced, USC middle of the season at home. Last time SC's going to Rice Eccles, that place will be crazy. It's been sold out for 50-plus games already straight in a row. And then they go to Oregon in week 11. So moments nationally.
San Diego State, September 17th. Not, anything biased about Dime City down here, but the Aztecs are 8-2 in their last 10 Pac-12 games.
Yeah, we'll get to them, George. Right now, I think the Aztecs, they got to clean up a few things off the field right now. They got some things going on right now, which is not cool on a bunch of levels, but it's probably good for Arizona, who has them in the opener. We'll get to Jed Fish later on in the show.